Hi everyone, I'm Moody Boo, the Fragrant Nomad. And excuse the appearance, I have been painting my Louis Vuitton Speedy handbag. I know, I'm going to be posting that video very soon. I'm going to do it in stages. I just got the base coat on of one side. Not base coat, but the colors, one coat of colors that I want. I'm going to go back through, put a second coat on, and then zhuzh it up a little bit. So yeah, I'll probably be able to post that in a couple weeks or so, because I'm going to take my time doing it so I can do it right. I know painting a Louis, it was an older Speedy. It needed to be zhuzhed up. So enough about purses. So today, I can't tell you my excitement when I went on Lucky Scent and discovered that Frapin had put out an extreme version of 1270. Oh boy. I have said for years that 1270 would be a desert island perfume if it lasted better, but it sucketh maximus when it comes to how it does. Its projection, its longevity, even its sillage isn't very good. Never has been. You know, 3-4 hours max is about what I get. Not good at all. It's a mid-range perfume, but that's no excuse for poor performance. I mean, pop a Viagra in this sucker and call it a day, shall we? Well, that's kind of what they did with the extreme. It's the extreme. So I popped for it. I didn't even, get a sample or anything. I just went ahead and bought it. It performs way better than 1270. Way better. Now the question is, do they smell the same? And I have to say they are incredibly close, which is amazing, because I would not want them to tweak this formulation at all, if possible, other than to make it stronger. And that's kind of what they did. For once, the perfume that says extreme on it, when it's a flanker of the original, is actually doing what it says. It's a little more extreme. I don't know what they did, but it definitely smells like this, but it performs like this. So let me tell you the notes. I'm going to tell you the notes in both of them so you can see how close they are. The extreme is pineapple, apple, bergamot, aleni, jasmine, sambac, vine, rose, cedar, patchouli, tonka bean, vanilla, and gaiac. The notes on 1270 are pineapple, dried plum, resin, cacao, tonka bean, orange, coffee, dried fruits, spices, hazelnut, linden blossom, flowers, white honey, vanilla, woodsy notes, and gaiac. So there's definitely some parallels between the two with the resins and the fruits like the pineapple, the tonka bean, some of the spices and the floral notes and the vanilla and the woody notes. Those things are in common with both of them. So I've been wearing them together since I got this like 4 or 5 days ago. So I'm going to spray them again. I can still smell the extreme though that I sprayed this morning, and it's late afternoon, and 1270 has been long gone. Long bye-bye. Don't forget to write. Kind of gone. So I'm going to blast them both. And there's a cool little design on the back of the extreme, which I appreciated. Looks like a coat of arms or something. So I got the extreme on my hand. And then the regular one on my wrist. I guess I do smell that pineapple. I'm just used to a pineapple note in perfume being like Aventus, where it isn't sweet, ripe, juicy kind of a pineapple. it's mingled in with other notes that just make an aromatic perfume a little fruity to me. This though, is a very, very sweet, ripe, juicy, perfect pineapple. But that's only like the first 5 minutes on either one of them. That's the only time I truly get the pineapple. Because then with the extreme, the apple and some of the other notes start kicking in. And with the regular 1270, the dry fruits and some of the other notes start kicking in. I still get a butter rum lifesaver with the extreme, just not quite the same. To me, the extreme isn't quite as gourmand as 1270, because 1270 has, you know, the cacao, and it's got a little more fruits in there, and the coffee, and some nuts and honey and things like that. Whereas the extreme has the resins and some floral notes, but it's a little heavier, in my opinion, on some of those woodsy notes, and you do get a little bit of the patchouli and a little bit more of the floral notes. Whereas this one, it was a little heavier into those dried fruits and the pineapple and some of those other fruity notes that the original has in it. Am I doing that right? Yeah, this is the extreme, this is the original. So in my opinion, the original is more gourmand. But after about a half an hour, when that Butter Rum Lifesaver accord comes out in the extreme, it's almost a more mature kind of a gourmand at that point. But it's not a heavy gourmand. I still, like I said, get the Butter Rum Lifesaver. But I also get this lovely menagerie of florals, this deep, earthy, dry woods in there as well, because both of them are pretty darn juicy in my opinion. They're not dry perfumes at all. They're very wet. Oh, I love them both, but there are some subtle differences. 1270 almost has this butteriness to it, you know, like a butter rum or something like that has. There's just this oily, wonderful butteriness that comes with it that the extreme doesn't quite have. It replaces that butteriness, I think, with more of the woodsy, earthy notes. But still maintains a real smoothness to it, but it doesn't quite get to the buttery part. Oh. They're both amazing. I do feel like the extreme is a little more sophisticated, a little more mature version of 1270, just because it has more dimension, I think, than 1270. It has more depth to it, and it definitely has a bigger trajectory, because to me 1270 doesn't do much. What you smell at the top is pretty close to what you smell a couple hours later when it's gone or leaving. But the extreme does have a little bit of a shift from top to dry down. And it's a good shift. It's not extreme, like the name. It's a subtle shift. But it's just enough to keep you really interested. And the deep dry down is beautiful. It doesn't get lost in some generic woodiness with a bit of sweetness to it. It never does that. It still maintains that depth, that hint of gourmand, that earthiness, that sweetness, all the way until it leaves. And it lasts for me very, very well. 8 to 10 hours I get out of the extreme. 3 or 4 out of the original. So well done, Frapin. And its projection is much better with 2 sprays. It's easily arm's length. I don't think it goes past arm's length, but it does make it 2 arm's length. Whereas 1270 may make it there with 2 sprays the first 5 minutes, but then it comes close fast. This one does come within arm's length after a few hours, but that's where it pretty much stays until it just is gone. It has lasted overnight on my skin. I could smell it throughout the night when I would get up, and it's still under $200. They're both mid-range perfumes still, which is wonderful. Now, would I even bother with 1270 if the Extreme had been out? No. I love 1270, and it is slightly different than the Extreme, but not a lot. But the Extreme just performs so much better. I love 1270, and it is slightly different than the Extreme, but not a lot. This is my second bottle, because the first one I just blasted. I loved it so much I had to spray 3 or 4 sprays every 3 or 4 hours. And so I went through it quick, as I recall. This is my second bottle. And yeah, I probably won't use much of it again. I love having it. They're twins, but not quite twins. This is the little more older, sophisticated, classier twin, in my opinion. But this is still a fabulous perfume. Love 1270. My only complaint has always been the performance. I do think this could be a signature scent because it does perform well enough. And if you blasted 3 or 4 sprays as opposed to just 2, yeah, you could probably compete in a club with lots of other people close together in other signature scents. You really could. But it doesn't have that harshness or that bite or that punch that a lot of clubbing signature scents have. This is much more smooth, much more sophisticated, like I said. So I more picture this, though you could wear it clubbing, I more picture this really classy get-togethers, nighttime get-togethers, you know, whether that be for work or just formal, very formal, yet with the potential of being fun kind of get-togethers, because this doesn't take itself very seriously. It's no Aventus, which I never really cared for much. Oh no, she said it. She doesn't like Aventus. I don't dislike Aventus. I just am bored to tears with it. It's good when I smell it on a gentleman or a woman. I appreciate them wearing it, but I always think, there's others out there I would prefer to smell out in public than Aventus. That's all. Anyway, pineapple. That's what brought Aventus up. This is not Aventus. This one to me is sweet with sophistication. It has fun and frivolity, but it also can be very formal. It definitely has a frisky factor going on there because my husband loves it. He doesn't necessarily get triggered by it, you know, to attack me like Amir Al-Oud does for him or some of the others that I have. But every time I've tested it, he's been like, what you got on? That new perfume? I like it. You know, and so that to me tells me that, yeah, this is a good one. I could wear this out with him anywhere. And I don't think anybody would be offended. Now, as far as the time of year, because of that sweetness, I do think you have to be careful for hotter temperatures. But that doesn't mean you couldn't do it. I will absolutely wear this during hot summer, but during the night. I don't think it would really, it just wouldn't be one I would grab for a daytime summer scent. Those are more for my freshies, sometimes my woody perfumes, things like that. The sweeter ones I usually leave for nighttime when it's hot. Oh, I'm really enjoying this. And like I said, I got it at Lucky Scent. I don't think I need to put a link below. Everybody knows Lucky Scent. It is under $200. God, I said that. Am I stuck in a loop again? Probably. But it is worth it. If you are debating getting one or the other, I don't know. It depends on what you want it for. If you want it for a daytime scent during cooler temps, I would go with 1270 because it doesn't project far. It'll be gone soon. So, you know, that's kind of good for work situations. But if you want to get a little noticed, to stand out a little bit in a crowd without being too much, because it's not a super niche kind of perfume. It's just a universally delicious, wonderful, sweet with sophistication kind of a perfume, which is rare to me. Sweet perfumes, a lot of times I never, not never, I should never, not never, I should never. I shouldn't say never because I always get proven wrong when I say extremes like that. So anyway, I forgot what I was going to say, so we're moving on. Lord. So I would definitely check out the extreme. If you love 1270, but you're pissed off about how it performs, this one has a little Viagra in it. So not for real. I'm just kidding. But it definitely has no performance issues. I am quite satisfied at the end of the wearing. Ready for a cigarette. Kidding again. I don't smoke. All right, guys. I guess that's about it. I hope you come back and see me soon and check out that Louis painting video. I don't know how it's good. So far, it's looking good, but I'll probably screw it up by the end of it. No, I've never done this before, but you know what? Gotta take some risks if you want any rewards. And I want a unique, one-of-a-kind Louis. And I figure if I'm painting it myself, that'll make it more special because I put a lot of time into it. So anyway, all right. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. All right, use your nose. Peace.